there's another random question. You're really good with knowing like our names and our because we have a lot of unique names. I want to get into that. That's just something that I want to do for myself. So my name is Bo. What does my name exactly mean?
So Bull is a name that is used to when you have twins in your family. So the child that's born after the twin is usually called Bull if they're a boy, or they're called Nyabul when they're a girl. So yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
I love that. And a lot of times people were named after certain events. Like it could have been, a bad event or a good event, or, a name that means like rain because there was a drought. Can we talk more about that?
Yeah. So something that's really amazing about the Dinka culture is the way that our names are so meaningful to the circumstances of our life and the circumstances of the people who are living with us.
That's so powerful. I never knew anything about that.
It's really amazing. Like all names have meaning. That's the thing. Like even white people's names, like every name has meaning, but it's just ours is very. It's very special because there's a whole story behind it.
Yeah.
Like with my first name, Sabur, my name's actually Arabic for patience.
Oh,
but
wow.
Yeah, my parents called me Sabur because my older sister Bak was born, and then I was born, so two girls, and so they called me Patience because a boy was going to come.
Do you feel like you're patient?
See, I always get asked that. I'm not patient.
Not patient.
I'm very impatient, which is kind of like the annoying thing about being called patient because you must be patient. But after they called me that, my younger brother was born after me, so they called me Patience as to hold on waiting because a boy was going to be born. Yeah,
that's amazing.
Yeah.
And we talked about it before. Your uncle's name. Which meant
my dad's name.
Yeah, your dad's name. Sorry.
Yeah, my dad's name, Dio. You know, he's called Dio because at the time of his birth, his uncle had passed away, and so they were still grieving the loss of his uncle. That's why his name was Dio.
Yeah.
And so it's just like a little. Yeah, that's something that I found really interesting when I was deep diving into our culture. Why we called the names that we're called, because it represents the people and the circumstances that we were living in, and it's really important to remember that, and not be, because I think sometimes you hear like, oh Deng is so like such an overused name. We kind of laugh about and we kind of undermine the significance.
It's got a
of
beautiful
our names.
meaning. I didn't.
Yeah,
you
Deng
told
is
me that
beautiful.
earlier.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what Deng means for the people that make fun of that name?
Deng means rain.
Yeah.
Like, Deng means rain, and I feel like something that's just like knowing our culture, like we live in a lot of drought. We have up and down seasons where it floods a lot or there's a lot of drought. So, Deng could be kind of signifying, a wanting for rain, or could be signifying like hold off on the rain. It's just something that's really amazing. It's connected to our geography. It's connected to our land. So I think that's just something like, or when, you're being called your name in school setting and people are like, oh, it's a tongue twister and stuff. I feel those little microaggressions, they really undermine the value of our name and who we are. And I think it came with maturity, because I was on that bandwagon too. Oh, Deng is so funny. Everyone's called Deng, But I think it's just like realizing like your name is so powerful. Your name is so important to your family and to your culture. And to your land itself, I think that's just something that's amazing.
I think that's another thing that a lot of people don't know that. That's why it's so amazing that you know so much about your culture, and you came here when you were 3 years old. So that's amazing that your parents did an amazing job at making sure that you know your culture.
No, thank you. I'm still learning.
Yes, but that's good. You're on that journey, which is the main part. One more question about names before we move on. What's your favorite name from our culture that it just means something so... because it feels like a lot of the meanings, which I want to know more.
That's a good... I think one name that I like a lot is Beng. Which means like Lord.
Yeah, yeah.
Like God, Jesus. Beng.
Yeah, yeah. How about President? Ben?
Ben?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, Ben. Yeah, Ben. It's like it's used as authority.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so Ben is like the leader or somebody who's in a high authority is called Ben. But like actually Bendit is like the Lord of Lord. Like,
so can you call someone, because that's kind of, you can't just call someone your son Ben, right?
No,
Start calling your son
but
Lord.
there is Ben. A lot of people are called Ben.
Yeah.
I think it signifies,
Yeah,
Jesus or God.
there you go. Well, I really want to know that. That's just something that I wanted to know.
Yeah,
So I'm
cool.
glad we talked about it. But what I want to talk about as well is how your culture, and you're getting taught that at a young age. Do you reckon that then helped you with what was going on and to keep you stay focused and strong?
Yeah, that's another really good question. Yeah, I think so. I think I didn't always have an intimate knowledge of my culture, and I don't claim to know everything. I might have even said like things that are wrong that people can pick
Don't
me
worry.
up on.
Whatever
you know?
I said,
No.
you're fine compared to what I tried to
You're
say
absolutely
before.
fine. I think it's about the learning. I
Yeah.
think I started caring a lot more when the situation was happening, like when the Apex problem was
That's so
was
fascinating
happening.
because I think what happened, two things would have happened when that was happening. People were more like, you know what, I want to learn more about my culture and get with my
Yeah.
community. Other people were like, I'm trying to get out.
Yeah.
So you went the other way. I ran away.
Yeah. I ran away initially, but I think
But
something
you
that
came back
was
quicker than
yeah
before.
yeah,
I did.
I came back because I think even just like my family, my dad being a community leader, that
Yeah.
was like a part of who he was his whole life, and my mum too. So you can't just turn your back on something like on your identity. That's something that my parents have really drilled into me. Who are you? You know, we walk around with this dark skin. You know, it's not something that you can escape. You can't just say, you can't deny who you are. But I think it's about that search for what is your true identity? What does it mean to be South Sudanese? And I think part of that is navigating, the problems with people trying to create this impression of you and trying to form your own identity as well. Like it can be a lot. So I think something that the Dinka school, the speaking with my family about the issues, the talking to my friends, like talking to like-minded people, all this really impacted like my willingness to come back and to actually do a deep dive into who am I, and what does this community mean to me, like living here in Melbourne. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's you spoke about your parents. It sounds like you're really connected with them.
Yeah.
What's 3 main values that they try to instill in you guys?
I think one thing is like honesty, like being true to yourself, being true to others, and integrity comes with that. I think compassion. My dad especially is very compassionate, and I think it's not something that's easy to do, to think about other people's circumstances and try to think about where other people are coming from. Being empathetic to people is quite unnatural, especially when you think that your rage or your judgment is justified. That's something I'm constantly learning as well. How do you walk in somebody else's shoes, and how do you see their life from their perspective? And the last one, maybe like communication as a value, using your platform for the right reasons, using your platform to inspire other people. I'm not a president. I don't profess to be on any high station, but I feel like using the platform that I've been given, the words that I can use and the life that I've lived to help influence other people to, reach for success and enjoy the same benefits that you've been enjoying.
Yeah. Your parents sound really wise. What's the best advice you've ever gotten from them?
A lot of advice.
What's one memorable one that you just kept on hearing and you're like, all right, I know it, but you kind of really are glad that they kept on telling you?
I think maybe just like remember who you are.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, just like remember who you are, because as a young person, identity is going to be our biggest issue before anything else.
Yeah.
Before anything else.
That's a really good quote.
Yeah, just like remember, like who are you, and that it's like it's a question that leads to further questions.
Yeah,
and I think that's something is why I wrestle with it a lot. Who am I? Like, and am I being with my authentic self in this moment? Have I been my authentic self this year? You know, what is driving me to think and act a certain way? And in terms of like my culture, how do I stay connected? What does that culture mean to me? How do you exist in two worlds? I think that's something that it's constantly challenging me, but it's made me evolve to the person that I am now. So I think that's very good advice that my parents have given me. Remember who you are and where you've come from.
Yeah, I love that. That's really powerful. And because I kind of, that's what I did. I had to ask myself that when I was, running away, and I was like, you know what, this is ridiculous. This is not going to work. Like I can't just jump into another culture. So that's really cool. what advice would you give someone who is lost, right now? Um, what's one thing that just made you stay focused? That you just that you didn't lose track from? It sounds like you didn't have problems with that at all. I know that your parents, not that sounds kind of
Yeah.
a bit over the top, but it sounds like you kind of knew that. What's one advice you would give someone to kind of remind themselves of who they are?
I think something that it's always been a big part of my life, and it's always going to be, is my faith. I think believing in, whether or not you believe in God, but I think it's just my faith has directed me and shaped me to be the person I am. Like gratitude as well.
Yeah. Okay.
I think something that we find in life is very hard.
Yeah.
Life is very challenging, but there are things that you can be grateful for. Looking to those things as a source of hope and as a source of inspiration can be really important, and can really help you to reevaluate your mind and turn a bad situation into something a little bit more hopeful.
Yeah.
Something that's been a big part of my life is my family and my friends. So if you can reach out for support, people are willing to help you. People love you. I think that's something when you're in a very dark place, it can be hard to know when you're feeling lost. Who loves me? I don't feel comfortable with this group of friends. I don't feel heard. I don't feel valued. I don't feel like my life is progressing. Reevaluate your company. Look at the people in your life that really want the best for you, and try to reach out to them as well. Being honest with yourself in terms of what support do you need? What exactly are you struggling with at this point, and how can you get out of it? I think it's very important that we start like being very very upfront with ourselves and have that kind of internal dialogue. If we're feeling lost, I feel lost, I need to switch off. And that's something I always do with social media. Like I can have social media and then all of a sudden I get into this very dark internal place. Nobody else can see it. I look fine, but I know my triggers, and I just need to switch off, and I need to change my mindset a little bit. So I think, with anything, it has to be finding exactly why you're feeling lost, who you can reach out to, what are some actions, how can you remain have a sense of hope and have a sense of gratitude in your life. And I think that in itself can give you a reason to start believing again, start trusting again, and get out of that feeling of being lost.